Protests are growing over a second deadly shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis.
And a triple threat of snow, ice, and sub-zero temperatures. Flights are being canceled in Chicago and across the country as a major winter storm impacts millions.
Plus, we are Chicago proud of a standout sophomore. He's turning heads after scoring his 1,000th career point, putting him on pace to make school history on this Monday, January 26th.
Streaming live from Chicago, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts now.
Hey everybody, good morning. Top of the hour, Monday. Back at it. I'm Terrell Brown.
And I'm Val Warner. We are here in the cold, in the snow, and all the things in between. And guess who else is here with us in studio this morning? A treat backed by popular demand, Phil Schwartz.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to come in more often with those kind of
introductions
and all. So thank you very much. You know, it was interesting driving in from the suburbs during the early morning hours. We had maybe 3-4 inches of snow, but you get downtown, there's about 8-9 inches of snow on the ground. And right now the temperature at O'Hare is 0. It's 6 below in Sycamore and 3 below in Geneva as well as in Crystal Lake. You factor in the wind chill, it feels like it's 18 below right now at O'Hare. And we do have this cold weather advisory in effect until noon with wind chills as low as 25 below. Diane.
You know, we still have some slick conditions out there this morning, and we've had a report of crashes pretty much all morning long, but it's 394 that we're worried about right now because it's completely shut down on the northbound side. So that's where we're going to start. Let's go up to Chopper 7. They're over the northbound side with this crash. The ambulance has not left the scene here. 3 vehicles are involved. Obviously, authorities are there on the scene. Fire department, state police there as well. All lanes are blocked on that northbound side of Route 394. This is just shy of US 30. We do also have a crash on the southbound side. You see it right there in the left lane. So a big mess on 394. Authorities did say conditions are slick there. Please keep that in mind if you're heading out the door. That also might be the case on other expressways and even the tollways. Val and Terrell.
Heads up. Thank you. Want to get to more dangerous cold and travel trouble for some passengers this morning. Hundreds of flights are already canceled at Chicago's airports.
And that is after a powerful winter storm slammed much of the country, with more delays expected as crews and planes catch up. ABC's Lisette Nunez is live at O'Hare Airport with what travelers need to know before heading out. Lisette.
Val and Terrell, well, airlines have been working around the clock to return service back to normal, and things have improved just a little bit. So we're not seeing as many cancellations and delays, but Saturday and Sunday, it didn't look too good. We're talking about more than 15,000 cancellations. This was across the country as this major winter storm moved through. The storm dumping snow and ice from the south all the way to the east. And here in Chicago, we saw snow and continue to deal with freezing cold temperatures. The cancellations forcing some people to consider driving to their destination.
My flight has been canceled twice so far, but I made it here from internationally, so I'm probably driving to Columbus. I don't want to wait another 2 days.
Yeah, well, some major hubs were spending more than $30,000 an hour to ensure that their runways were cleared, and also some major airlines, they were offering free flight changes for those travelers who have been impacted. We're live at O'Hare Airport. Lisette Nunez, ABC7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Okay, got it, Lisette. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. At 3 past the hour this morning.
The death toll is rising as a massive winter storm stretches across America from Louisiana to New England. Parts of the Northeast are seeing their heaviest snowfall in 4 years, snarling travel in, creating dangerous conditions with impacts expected to linger.
ABC's Lionel Moise has the latest live from New York this morning. Lionel, good morning.
Good morning, Terrell, and good morning to you, Val. Yeah, this storm, as you just mentioned, impacted much of the nation, 200 million people. And the big concern this morning is not just the snow we dealt with, but the bitter cold forecast. Millions waking up to frigid temps this morning after a deadly winter storm brought heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain from New Mexico to New England. A private plane carrying 8 people crashing after takeoff from Bangor, Maine.
Aircraft upside down. We had a passenger aircraft upside down.
No confirmation on if there were survivors. Travel on the roads coming to a halt. One man recovering after this massive ice-covered tree fell on this car in Atlanta. More than 1 million power outages have been reported across 11 states.
We're going to have to stay at a friend's house who's got heat.
Okay.
We don't have anything.
In Louisiana, the frigid weather turning deadly. 2 men died due to hypothermia. In New York City, at least 6 deaths are linked to the conditions. A woman near Boston was killed after a snowplow backed into her.
My biggest message is please take it seriously. Stay off the roads and check in on your neighbors.
And some moments of just that. In Oklahoma, one Tulsa man pitching in with a vintage fire truck he bought from an auction, using it to help bring the homeless to shelters.
Just cruise the streets, see someone, offer a ride. If they take it, great. If not, I can at least warm them up in the truck and just get them a water, meal, something. And it's just giving back to a community like everybody should do.
And a treat for people in New York Central Park, with Olympian Shaun White putting on the show snowboarding.
All right, that was really cool. Not the view that I got in my part of New York, but some people did have some fun. But in all seriousness this morning, they do really want people to stay off the roads if they can, because there is concern that those roads could still be icy. The National Weather Service saying this is something that could impact travel and infrastructure for days to come. Terrell?
Alrighty, Lionel Moise this morning in New York. Lionel, good to see you. Thank you. Heavy lake effect snow slowed IDOT and other crews as they work to clear the roads around here in streets. In Chicago, the Department of Streets and Sanitation rolled out its full fleet of 250 snowplows and salt spreaders over the weekend, and crews will be back out again today. Warming centers are open across the Chicago area right now. You can find those locations listed by county on our news app and on our website. And a reminder, you can also get the latest forecast anytime with the free ABC7 Chicago News app. Just scan the QR code right there on the screen for a link to download.
2 people are hurt and 4 people had to be rescued from an apartment building fire overnight in Chicago. Firefighters say the fire started on the first floor and spread. This happened near Toohey and Western in West Ridge. Firefighters used a ladder to get some neighbors to safety in the bitter cold. One woman who lived next door describes what she saw.
A janitor was banging on the door of his own unit across the hall from me. He may have been trying to get people to wake up because you don't know if it's going to spread.
Warming buses were available to those in need. Still, no official word on how that fire started.
A federal judge is set to hear arguments today on whether to pause an immigration crackdown in Minnesota. A Border Patrol officer's deadly shooting of Alex Preddy has added urgency to the case now. Video shows federal agents using flashbangs against protesters in Minneapolis overnight. There have been 3 shootings in 3 weeks during immigration enforcement there. Minnesota leaders also plan to ask a judge to extend a restraining order banning federal authorities from altering evidence related to Preddy's shooting.
I am deeply concerned about the preservation of evidence, which is why we went to court last night.
Patrol officials say the shots were fired Saturday while they tried to arrest a man who they say is undocumented. They claim Preddy came up to agents with a gun and they tried to disarm him, but he, quote, violently resisted. Video of the incident shows otherwise and does not back up those claims. Jasmine Miner is here now with the latest on local protests that we saw around here in reaction here in Chicago. Jasmine, good morning.
Well, good morning, Terrell. Yeah, we've seen an outrage here in Chicago and across the country over the deadly shooting of 37-year-old Alex Preddy, with thousands demanding ICE be abolished. This as hundreds brave the frigid temperatures and snow. You see all the people out there over the weekend to march in response. This memorial in front of VA Hospital has been growing for Preddy, who was a VA hospital nurse in Minnesota. Preddy is the second person in Minnesota to have been shot and killed by a federal agent. Well, many are thinking of their own families.
I'm a 39-year-old mom, and it makes me angry that I don't have answers when my 3 kids ask me why this is happening.
We have to come together as a community to show the government that they're wrong.
Definitely tugging on the hearts of many Chicagoans here. Well, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino declined to give more details about the confrontation, claiming this situation is evolving, the investigation is ongoing, and he went on to say those facts will come to light. We are expecting the protests to continue this week. In fact, a national nursing organization plans on holding a candlelight vigil at the VA hospital in Chicago on Wednesday in honor of Preddy. Back to you.
All right, Jasmine, thank you. And the deadly ICE shootings incidents in Minneapolis could be at the center of the next political fight over government fundings. Democrats are vowing to block a Homeland Security funding bill until it is modified to rein in ICE. They want Republicans to separate DHS funding from a series of appropriations bills. The Senate has until Friday to approve those bills to avoid another partial government shutdown.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that a document on security guarantees from the U.S. for Ukraine is ready to sign. Zelensky made that announcement following 2 days of peace talks. In Chicago, a banquet at the Ukrainian Cultural Center marked Ukraine Unity Day, which is celebrated every January. Negotiators from the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia are expected to meet again this weekend for peace talks. Meanwhile, Pope Leo is calling for peace in Ukraine and an end to the war with Russia. The Chicago-born pontiff spoke to a crowd Sunday morning in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. The Pope said that Ukraine is being hit by continuous attacks, leaving many people exposed to the cold of winter. He asked world leaders to, quote, intensify their efforts to end this war.
One of the people accused of beating a man on a CTA bus is expected in court today. 18-year-old Lindell Roberts Jr. is facing several battery charges. Police say Roberts and two 15-year-olds attacked 62-year-old Larry Gilkey last month. At last check, Gilkey's family tells us that he has severe head injuries and is expected to need daily care. A judge ordered Roberts to remain in custody until his trial.
The number of short-term rentals in Evanston could soon be limited under a new proposed ordinance. If approved, the city would cap short-term rentals at 1 for every 100 long-term units. City staff says right now there are currently 135 short-term rentals operating, but only 78 are properly licensed. The Evanston City Council is set to consider the ordinance at its meeting tonight.
The Harvey City Council holds its bi-monthly meeting tonight. There's no word if Mayor Christopher Clark will be there. He was a no-show at a meeting earlier this month. This comes as the city faces a multi-million-dollar budget deficit. About 40% of city workers were laid off when the city declared itself financially distressed in October. And today, people on Chicago's South Side can pick up a free beef pot pie. St. Sabina Church is hosting a community giveaway open to everyone starting at noon. More than 6,000 pot pies will be available thanks to a partnership with American Kitchen Delights.
There was a celebration of great food and drink last night in Chicago. More than 400 chefs and culinary professionals got together for the Bonche Awards. Winners were named in categories including Chef of the Year and Restaurant of the Year. Chef Grant Achatz from Alinea was honored with the Culinary Excellence Award.
That's nice. And this morning in Oswego, high school basketball player is also making Chicago proud with a major milestone on the court.
Sophomore Ethan Bale scored the 1,000th point of his high school career during a game against Bolingbrook last week. He finished the night with 30 points. If he keeps this up, he could shatter Oswego's all-time scoring record of nearly 1,600 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Future star there,
That's
huh?
right. That's right. And we knew him back when.
That's right. You're live on local news just getting started as we stream out loud this morning. Coming up, this homegrown honored in hanging high. Derrick Rose's moment at the United Center.
Plus, ready or not, tax season starts today. What's new this year? The deductions that could put more money back in your pocket.
And Phil is in for Tracy and has your ABC7 AccuWeather alert forecast that's coming up next.
Well, good morning, everyone. The big storm we saw this weekend, that's gone, but the lake enhanced snow was impressive. for some of us. You had to get right along the immediate lakefront. Here in the Loop, about 9 inches of snow. Eastern DuPage County, 3, 4, 5 inches of snow. And then the farther west you go, the snow gradually diminished quite rapidly. Wind chills 15 to 25 below this morning. That's why that cold weather advisory is in effect. High today, 11, some 20 degrees below our average high temperature. And we had a low this morning of 0. You can see how skies are clearing. The lake effect snow is over. High pressure will now dominate our weather for the next several days. So that means mainly dry conditions. 11 degrees for a high today. There will be a weak disturbance racing by tonight into tomorrow. So plenty of clouds, maybe a passing flurry. Then this cold front reinforces the chilly conditions. A high tomorrow of 17, and then as we head into Wednesday, again, highs only making it into the mid-teens with a mixture of clouds and sun. And that high temperature of 14, it's going to feel colder than that as it will remain windy. Highs today from 8 in the outlying areas to 12 in the city. Wind chills staying well below 0 throughout the day. Cold but dry for much of the week. Maybe some lake effect flurries and snow showers Friday into Saturday. By the weekend, a little warmer, low to mid-20s, but no big snowstorms in sight. Diane.
At least that's a bit of good news for us. Phil, this morning on the expressway starting to fill in nicely. The travel times hovering right around 40 minutes on most of our inbound expressways. We have delays outbound on the Kennedy. Still about 35 minutes getting out to O'Hare on the Eisenhower. A quick 30-minute trip there. A little on Stevenson. The Ryan is wide open on the outbound side. We do have a very serious crash that I'll get to in just a second. The chopper's over, but first, an update on these two crashes. First one, northbound Route 394. All lanes remain blocked at US 30 with a very serious crash involving 3 vehicles with delays before Stager. We've got another one, pretty minor, on the southbound side in the left lane at US 30. Now let's go up to Chopper 7 for this very serious crash involving this tanker vehicle and another vehicle. You see that black vehicle is underneath that semi, or that tanker, if you will. This is in Chicago Heights at Joe Orr Road and State Street, and I should say that crews there are calling for some extra salt because they are reporting very slick conditions out there on the road. So please keep that in mind. Proceed with caution. Val and Terrell.
The Archdiocese of Chicago says a teacher with a history of sex abuse allegations has been fired. A letter was sent to school families. According to the letter, the male teacher was employed as a substitute at Queen of Martyrs Catholic School in Evergreen Park earlier this month. The Archdiocese says as of now, none of the allegations took place at any Chicago area schools. The Archdiocese is cooperating with DCFS and 2 suburban police departments. Tax season is officially underway today. That includes both federal and state income tax filings. This year, taxpayers may see more deductions available, which could mean a bigger refund for some filers. For a closer look at what's changed and how it could impact you, head on over to ABC7Chicago.com, our news app, or our website, and check this out. The deadline to file or request an extension is April 15th.
Coming up this morning, new SNAP rules kick in soon. What you need to know and do to keep your benefits.
And a standing ovation, decades in the making. Derrick Rose's jersey rises to the rafters.
Eyewitness News streaming at 7 continues after a break.
Teachers union members in Rockford voted to authorize a strike. They're working on a new contract with the district now. If a strike were called, the Rockford Education Association is legally required to give a 10-day notice to the district. Teachers are working without a contract and say they are bargaining for better wages, staffing, and benefits.
Well, travelers without a real ID or other approved identification will soon face a new $45 fee. The TSA is expected to outline details of its Confirm ID program today, which takes effect this Sunday, February 1st. Under the program, travelers without approved ID can submit their information online and pay the fee to speed up the security screening process. In response to increased demand, hours have been extended at Illinois DMVs and the downtown Supercenter.
A reminder that new SNAP changes begin soon. Starting Sunday, adults under the age of 64 will be required to work or volunteer at least 80 hours a month to keep their benefits. Advocates are urging people to check their status now to avoid a gap in coverage. Adults who do not meet the work requirements can only receive SNAP benefits for 3 months over a 3-year period.
ABC7 is holding our 2026 Democratic U.S. Senate primary forum this week, and we're partnering with the League of Women Voters of Illinois and Chicago and University of Chicago.
3 of the Democratic candidates for Illinois' U.S. Senate seat, Robin Kelly, Raja Krishnamurthy, and Juliana Stratton, will be here in our studios answering your questions. You can watch that forum live on Thursday at 7 p.m. wherever you stream ABC7. The debate will also air in full on Friday, immediately following the news at 10.
And we are also planning a forum with the Republican candidates next month. More details on that will soon become available. Right now, we're going to join our Good Morning America viewers. I'll have a news update on TV in just a bit, and you'll see that here as well.
And when we come back on this Monday morning, is your phone blowing up? You are not alone. Millions of spam calls and texts are flooding Illinois. How to stop them on the way.
Now, an update from ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Good morning at 7:23. I'm Val Warner. Dozens of people will have to find a new place to stay. A fire forced them from their homes overnight. Firefighters say the fire started on the first floor and spread. This happened near Toohey and Western in the Westridge neighborhood. Crews used a ladder to get some neighbors to safety in the bitter cold. 2 people are hurt and 4 people had to be rescued. There's no word on how the fire started. Let's get a check of the ABC7 AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Phil Shores.
Thanks, Val. We are talking about temperatures around, if not below zero. It is 0 at O'Hare, 3 below in Geneva, as well as in Frankfort, 4 below in Crystal Lake. It feels like 22 below right now in McHenry. The wind chill at O'Hare, 18 degrees below zero. We do have this cold weather advisory. It's in effect until noon because wind chills will be in that 15 to 25 below category. And wind chills even this afternoon will remain below zero. So bundle up if you're heading out today. No big storms anywhere in this forecast, but temperatures way below normal through the week. Maybe a few flurries by Friday. Diane will be back with a look at traffic.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair.
Right in the palm of your hand? If you want soup, sweatpants, and 0 in-person contact. If you want wellness wherever. Our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us this morning, not only do we have very high travel times across the board, but lots of stuff going on for you this morning. We're going to start things off with an issue happening over at Union Station. So we did get word from Amtrak that there's a minor train derailment, very minor, at Union Station, and it's affecting the BNSF and the Southwest Service trains this morning. So a heads up there, make sure to check on that if you can. And then also we've got a pretty serious crash on the northbound side of 394. It's near US 30, and all lanes remain blocked at this hour. The crash does involve 3 vehicles and there are injuries there, but there's also a crash on the southbound side in the same location, minor, taking out the left lane.
It may feel like your phone never stops buzzing with spam calls and texts. If so, you're not alone. Tech experts at Truecaller show that in one recent month, more than 80 million spam calls hit Illinois residents and more than 4 million spam texts flooded phones. Nationwide, Americans are getting hit with 2.8 billion spam calls a month, averaging about 8 spam calls per person. Scammers often pose as government employees or say they can offer student loan assistance. You should ignore calls from unknown numbers and listen to voicemail. Never click links or reply to unknown numbers on texts, even if they are offering you so-called help. Use your phone's report junk feature and file complaints with the Federal Trade Commission. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. Coming up this morning, streaming at 7, a moment decades in the making. Derrick Rose's number rises to the rafters as Chicago shows up for one of its own.
And we're turning back the clock and digging into the video vault. Our weekend snowstorm was no match for the blizzard that buried Chicago nearly 60 years ago.
Plus, from splashes to Swanza when winter shows off its wild side, we've got all the frosty fun proving who's really in charge across Chicago and the country.
Streaming live from Chicago, ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 continues.
Good morning and welcome back, everybody. It is Monday, January 26th. Okay, so we've almost made it through January. We got to get through a quick month of February, and then the 40s are back.
Yes, come March.
Oh, you can go home now. I just summed up all your web.
Thank you.
Gone.
You think he won't? That's the funny thing. You think he won't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's the wrong man.
I'd think about it, but I'm here. All right. Wind chill are going to remain 15 to 25 below this morning. That's why we have this cold weather advisory in effect until noon. Look at these wind chills. It feels like it's 18 below right now at O'Hare. 23 below is the wind chill right now in Aurora. So brutally cold out there. 4 below in McHenry, 6 below the actual air temperature in Hampshire. We go through the day today, a high of 11, wind chills even this afternoon staying below zero. I keep wanting to say below freezing, but we're talking below zero. But at least we'll get to see some sunshine. Here's what you can expect for the next 3 days. More of the same with below normal temperatures, highs getting into the mid-teens, but windy and cold through most of the week. Diane.
All right, so we've got these delays on BNSF and Southwest Service trains because of a very, very minor train derailment on Amtrak at Union Station. So just a heads up, check with both of those sites so you can make sure that you're getting on the right train at the right time. As far as the expressways and tollways go, pretty busy. Our highest travel time is going to be inbound on the Kennedy with a travel time of about an hour.
Okay. Wow. Thanks, Diane. Appreciate it. Topping what we're talking about today, it's a weather throwback. Our weekend snowstorm was no match for that monster storm that hit Chicago nearly 60 years ago.
And today marks 59 years since the blizzard of 1967, which buried the city under 23 inches of snow, the biggest snowfall in Chicago history.
And after days of dangerous cold and snow, not everyone stayed indoors. From snowball fights to sledding and even a few surprise cameos. We're going to get to that in just a second. First, though, Phil, what you got in your hand?
Well, Tracy actually has this, and it is the Chicago Tribune. They put this out after the storm. Let me give you a shot of it. That's the cover.
And that's 60 years old?
January 1967?
Yeah. I know. What's sad is I look at this and I'm like, I'm older than this thing.
I was going to ask, but I'm going to leave that alone.
I hope I do. And, you know, that is one of the pictures where you just see the cars stuck and just all the streets were clogged with snow. Yeah.
That picture's from Lakeshore Drive?
Let's see.
I think it's from Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah, it is. Like you know, on Lakeshore Drive, we all know. Remember when it was closed? Was it the Groundhog Day blizzard? Just because they get the enhancement of the snow and the wind. And the wind with this was brutal. We're talking 4, 5, 6 foot drifts. I experienced it in Flint, the same storm as a 7-year-old kid, and it was awesome. We didn't have school for 2 weeks. I remember right in front of our house, there was a snowplow stuck, and it was there for 3 days. And they had to get like an earth mover, like, you know, if you're doing a major construction thing to actually get it out, to dig it out and, you know, make the road passable.
It sounds apocalyptic.
There, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it was a narrow band because like Detroit, which was like 50, 60 miles south of where I was, had like 3 inches.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very distinct cutoff.
Yeah. That's something else.
The blizzard that we had that shut down Lakeshore Drive in the early 2000s, what year? Was that 2011?
Yeah.
Yes, it was 2011. Where does that compare to this one?
Probably
the second?
I believe that was either second or third.
Yeah.
It was up there and about 4 or 5 inches less than that, but that was about it. It was really bad. The problem with Lakeshore Drive, you know, we were all saying how the snow was starting that afternoon. It was really going to pick up in the evening, and they didn't, you know. So everybody was ready for stuff to really get going during the rush. Well, by the time that happened, we had 5, 6, 7 inches already, and it was impassable with all those cars stuck. That turned into a disaster in a hurry.
Wow.
All right, so
so in comparison, this weekend was
and that was what, 2011?
2011.
So I think we're due for something. Huh?
You want it?
Well, I think there's something that is kind of fun about. I don't want people to get hurt, and you know, you want people to be okay and safe and that kind of thing. But just like a really good snow.
You don't think we had that yesterday?
No, I didn't see 20 inches.
You got almost 10.
Not 20.
Not big enough.
No.
Not enough inches for
That's
now.
right. That's right.
You want the big one.
Give me. That's right. I want the one that we're talking about for years
the one
from now.
Yeah. You know what? It is a unique experience, but yeah, it can be a pain
in the butt for a little bit. Yeah.
Literally.
You know, we still have to come to work.
I know.
You know, we are the ones
that's covering it.
And you know you'd be on at 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's true. That's
you want all of these things?
Oh, let's get to Groundhog Day and how it could look very different this year.
Yeah, so PETA is calling for Punxsutawney Phil to be replaced with a giant hologram, kind of like what you see right here, arguing that the famous groundhog should not be used for entertainment. The group says a high-tech version would spare Phil stress while keeping the tradition alive for crowds. Organizers of the annual event have pushed back, defending the decades-old tradition, but the proposal is already sparking a debate online. So, do we want the hologram or do we want the rodent?
We want Phil. We want Phil.
Here I am.
That's right.
My evil twin.
It'd be different if it was harmed.
We're
you know, like in trouble in some way, or
don't get this one.
I think they treat it very
As I said earlier, if they skinned him and ate him at the end,
like if it was
then I would
harmful.
understand the protest.
If it was harmful in any way, I think people would agree. But
But that,
it's not harming it.
And it's a groundhog.
Right.
What doesn't matter? I mean, it's not being harmed.
Phil's
The moral
living
of
better
the
than all
story
of us
is,
are
it's
up
not-
here. He's probably eating 3 meals a day.
No groundhog, though.
Fried Philly steak.
Yeah, we're streaming
He's
out
getting
loud
hair
this
and
morning.
makeup on that day.
Probably making some money. Anyway, we're streaming out loud. We'll get a break here. We're back with more right after this.
Good morning, everyone. Here's a look at some of the highest snowfall totals that happened right along the lakefront over this weekend. Right around 9 inches in the Loop, Garfield Park, and in Pilsen, 8.8 in Glenview, 8 inches for you folks in Evanston. Now, as we go through this morning, we're talking about wind chills as low as 25 below. That's why we have this cold weather advisory in effect, and temperatures remain well below normal throughout the week. Snow, not a major problem, though there could be a little bit of lake effect snow Friday into Saturday. No big storms in sight, but the cold weather will continue. There you see the cold weather advisory. 15 to 25 below is how cold it will feel. That will expire at noon. Right now you can see the lake effect snow now on the other side of the lake, and we are done with the accumulating snow. And even though we get a lot of sunshine today, temperatures barely get out of the single digits. Tonight, temperatures might actually start to rise into the mid-teens. Could be a passing flurry, no big deal. Tomorrow, after a weak cold front moves through, temperatures holding fairly steady again in the teens. And Wednesday, not a lot of change, starting out in the single digits with highs in the mid to upper teens. So highs today, 8 to 12. As you can see on our extended outlook, no big storms, but plenty of cold weather ahead. Diane.
Starting off with a problem on Metra's UP Northwest line, inbound train 616 stopped near Jefferson Park because of some mechanical issues. So definitely check with Metra. We've got a crash in Long Grove, northbound Route 53. It's on the exit ramp to westbound Lake Cook. Not blocking the ramp, but just keep that in mind. It is causing a bit of a delay there. Speaking of delays, we've got them all across the board on most, if not all, of our inbound expressways. As far as outbound delays, the Kennedy is going to be the worst off with a travel time of about 45 to 50 minutes heading to O'Hare. We've got some minor delays on the outbound side of the Stevenson near the downtown area, and that's about it for outbound delays. Everything else is inbound. Ongoing situation on 394 in both directions. So the northbound side, all lanes remain blocked at US 30 with a crash involving several vehicles and some injuries involved here. Minor crash on the southbound side. It's same exact place in the left lane. Val and Terrell.
All right, thank you, Diane. Well, warm up those vocal cords. American Idol is back. The long road to stardom begins tonight. Someone's in my ear warming up their vocal cords as hopeful singers put their dreams on the line in front of judges Carrie Underwood, Luke Bryan, and Lionel Richie.
Thought you were waiting for me to sing.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute now.
Like, that's not my lane.
And this comes with a major twist. Hollywood Week is picking up and heading to a brand new city, one that knows a thing or two about music. And that's where we sent entertainment reporter Joelle Gargiulo.
American Idol class of 2026 is in session. we're heading back to school.
A dream come true in every direction.
School being American Idol University, a.k.a. Belmont U in Nashville, Tennessee.
You're going to Hollywood Week. Yes, I'm Professor Brian. You can miss 10 days in my class, but just be there for the final.
That's right. For this season of American Idol, Hollywood Week isn't actually in Hollywood. It's in Music City, where a whole new class of contestants are hoping to become the next big name in music.
American Idol can change my life, and I'm ready for it.
And that's where I had the chance to catch up with longtime host Ryan Seacrest.
You look like Ryan Seacrest.
And the judges, Lionel Richie, Carrie Underwood, and Luke Bryan. How y'all doing?
Hi. You got a little way to go.
I love that we are here in Nashville right now.
I mean, I think the kids come in, we'll ask them first time in Nashville, and they're like, yeah, this is crazy.
What do you enjoy the most about it?
Watching them discover themselves.
Yeah.
They walk in, and I was that kid.
Yeah.
You know, somebody can see your potential before you can see your potential. What I love about this is the transformation.
Hollywood Week! Watching them chase dreams and try to go be singers and write songs and change the world is always pretty inspiring.
Now, getting to talk to you your second season as a judge, how has it been?
Oh, I loved last season so much. How can there be any more unique voices? There are. It's quite incredible.
Because I could also tell how hard it is for you to say no to someone.
It's a little easier.
Okay.
What's that word you hear more than anything else? No. That means not that you failed. It means not now. It's not happening that way. Try it again.
Yep. I remember the first season watching you and just thinking about how much the show has impacted your life.
Yes, it has. I was terrified the first season of the show because I'd never done a live primetime show, and I was with my blonde highlights, and I was 26 years old, and here we are.
26 when the show started?
Yeah, I was 26.
Incredible amount of lives that changed.
And hairstyles.
In the spirit of Idol University, let's give out most likely to's to your fellow judges and Seacrest.
What is Lionel most likely to do?
Dance on the ceiling. No.
That'll work. Carrie is most likely to always show up on time. Brian is most likely to bring high-end cuisine to class, and I'm most likely to know where all the kegs are.
Yeah.
Making dreams come true.
Thank you.
All right, Joelle Gargiulo reporting.
All right, coming up next, number one forever, why Saturday night belonged to Derrick Rose and the city that raised him.
And from the south side to the west side, one runner is crisscrossing Chicago one block at a time.
Welcome back, everybody. So while most of Chicago is bundling up to escape the bitter cold and snow, one man is lacing up and heading straight into it.
Evelyn Holmes introduces us to a runner on a remarkable mission to become the first person to run every single street in Chicago, nearly 4,000 miles across all the neighborhoods.
It's easy for people to recognize me.
It has become one of the missions in life for 25-year-old Joe Barbosa to run all of the more than 4,000 miles of Chicago streets that make up the city's 77 neighborhoods.
Everyone in Chicago amazing people everywhere you go. They always support me on my journey. I feel safe everywhere I go.
So far, the Roosevelt University grad student has conquered about 80% of the city's more than 2,000 streets by mapping out a grid and using a zigzag approach to make sure all blocks are covered. Barbosa often uses public transportation to travel to neighborhoods, running on average 10 miles a day, 6 days a week, regardless of the weather. We caught up with him at a CTA Blue Line station.
Coldest day in like years, right? But that doesn't stop me because I'm going to be out there with the Chicago flag representing and trying to get more streets.
This is day 364 of running every single street in Tri-Bay.
Barbosa's journey began in August of 2024. He posts his progress on social media and documents his runs on an app called Strava. He's managed to check off a lot of the city and says some of his favorite communities have been on the city's south and west sides.
I really, really like running on the south side. Amazing people there always supporting me on my journey.
Ironically, he says he really doesn't like running, but started it as rehab after surviving a life-threatening mountaineering accident in March of last year that left him with frostbite and hypothermia. His doctor told him he needed to get his blood flowing, so since he couldn't play his favorite soccer every day, he took to the lakefront trails.
But when I was running the lakefront trail, I was just thinking, this is beautiful, but this is boring. And so I thought, why don't I just go to different neighborhoods?
Donning the Chicago city flag as a cape, Barbosa says while he often runs alone, sometimes he'll pick up a running partner along the way who loves Chicago and its people as much as he does.
I'm just encouraging people to just go out there and just explore Chicago and explore the world.
Joe Barbosa hopes to finish his quest by April or May.
Job says that when he completes the run, he will submit his accomplishments to the Guinness Book of World Records, hoping to get recognition. He says he'll also think about taking his Run Every Street effort to other cities. Reporting from Chicago's near northwest side, Evelyn Holmes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Lord, that's a lot of streets.
That is a lot of streets, and to start it now.
Yeah.
Not June 1st.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice and warm.
But you know who else is like that? Our John Garcia. He loves running in this weather.
In this weather?
Yes. He just posted a picture the other day.
That's
oh,
wild.
No.
No, how they do
No,
it. Yeah.
I don't either.
I mean,
more power to
you
you guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm running
Better
to
you
the
than
kitchen.
me.
Exactly. That's right.
I ran with John one time.
Was it hard, tough?
It was the hardest run I had in my entire life.
Get out of here. Is he?
Because
he so
has
fast?
This big stride.
He does.
And
He's
going
long legs.
really fast. And I'm like huffing and puffing. I'm keeping on. And he's looking at me like, like a giraffe looking at something.
I didn't know he was that much of a runner.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Has a blog, or had a blog. I don't know if he still does it, but had a blog.
Yeah. Man,
Okay.
runners are intense, man. That's it.
Yeah,
That's John.
That's right.
Yeah.
Coming up this morning, from Inglewood to MVP to Bulls legend.
How Derrick Rose's journey inspired a generation of Chicago fans is coming up next.
Eyewitness News, streaming at 7, continues after a break.
And we are back this morning now to news about a legendary night at the United Center, one of Chicago's own, forever rising into history.
Yeah, the Bulls retired Derrick Rose's jersey over the weekend, lifting #1 into the rafters, making him just the 5th player in franchise history to receive that honor. ABC's Mayor Kawash was at the UC as fans, former teammates, and a grateful city came together to celebrate a hometown hero.
Derrick Rose now cemented in Bulls history as one of the all-time greats.
Thank you all for coming out.
Fans packed the United Center despite snowy and frigid conditions outside, something Rose says represents just how gritty Chicago is.
Everybody's here, dude. Are you kidding me? The parking lot's crazy out there. Snow everywhere, but nobody cares, man. Everybody's to see one of the greatest Chicago Bulls to ever play.
This was a long-anticipated moment for Rose, but also for his fans, who immediately connected with the Englewood native when he was drafted first overall to the Bulls in 2008. Rose often led the Bulls to thrilling playoff runs, while also winning MVP at just 22 years old in 2010, the youngest to win that award in NBA history.
It means everything to see him go up into the rafters. You know, we might not have won a chip, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We still love Derrick Rose. He homegrown, you know?
In the end, Rose gets his jersey in the rafters, marking a story of resilience and inspiration that so many Chicagoans say they'll always carry with them.
He gave it his all. He put his all into the game, and he literally shows girls and boys that you can make it. Englewood is not really a place that everyone's like bragging that they're from or to make it out of, and he literally did it.
I'm Eric Kawash, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, and somebody else was there that night.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, Chicago was outside that night and showed up for him. But yeah, that was when I first met Derrick back in the day when the Bulls Charities used to do their. Ryan and I would MC their functions.
Oh, cool.
Their galas, and he was there, and I remember being so excited to meet him. I remember going to the games and watching him and Taj and Luol Deng and Kirk Heinrich. Oh, Tony, there's the man. But we had a good time, and I found myself more emotional than I thought I would be to watch him, to listen to him. You saw the setup, right?
Yeah.
There was his wife, Elena, and the 3 kids. He came out alone. They greeted him. He came out alone. He sat with his mother, Brenda.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then he talked about everybody, his brothers. He talked about his mother's choice to even give birth to him. His brothers are way older than Derrick.
Oh,
Derrick is 37. His brothers are like in their 50s.
Oh, get out of here.
And they shielded him and protected him from Englewood and what we know about Englewood, and he thanked them for showing him how not to be.
His brothers.
His brothers, yes.
Were they there?
Oh yes, they were right there. So yeah, they were in the couches right behind, and 3 brothers. He went one by one. He thanked Jerry Reinsdorf for talking to him about what it takes to be a billionaire.
Oh,
I said, I did it, Jerry. Thank you. I mean, he was quite lengthy and chatty in his remarks, and didn't need a prompter, didn't need anything. He spoke from the heart, and I think that's what resonated with everybody there, because people, like, you could hear a pin drop listening to him talk about his experience. Thibodeau. Coach Thibodeau, right? Everybody, he said, I know you guys hate Coach because they blame, I didn't know this until that night, that they blamed Thibodeau for Derrick's injury. Because he was pushing him and playing him so tough. And he was like, no, Tibbs saw me and validated me. Oh, it was good. I could go on and on, but we got to go.
Oh, I love it. Well, wait a minute. How long was he up there talking?
Oh, 20, 30 minutes. It was after the game.
Oh, it was
They did it after the game, not at halftime.
I was like, oh, I thought that was halftime.
No.
Okay. Wow, that's something else.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. National Green Juice Day today, by the way. Go get you some. That's going to do it for us in this streaming hour. Val's got a cut in coming up here in just a bit. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place.